Hi, welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to use this mould. Tried using this mould once before with some EcoPor. Little bit of a fail, but fingers crossed today's will go a lot better. So we're going to use that mould. We're also going to use this one, which was from our Temu haul. And everything that we use today will have all the links and discount codes and so on in the description box down below. We're also going to use a little bit of glitter. Lovely orange glitter and some fluorescent glitter and some dried orange slices. Never used these before, seen it used by Jules from Resin Jules, and so we thought, I'm going to give it a go. So just to give you this, Wayne's doing the demo today, and as you can see, he's wearing his gloves. Remember, when you're using resin, wear gloves, wear the respirator mask, work in a well-ventilated area. So just trying to sort of see how we want these slices arranged. He's mixed up some T-Expert resin, 1:1 mixing ratio, and he's added in some of that lovely orange, I believe it's fluorescent orange, and white glitter. So just slowly pouring the resin in here. Don't forget, if you're mixing up your resin, take your time mixing the hardener and the resin to try and make sure you don't introduce too many bubbles into it. If you do find that bubbles are introduced when you're mixing it, you can leave it a couple of minutes and see if they naturally degas themselves, as in they come up to the surface and pop. Or you can take a long necked lighter to it. Never use a torch, please. Or you can put it through, if you've got a debubbling machine like we have from Resiners, you can always use one of those. So just pouring the resin into the mould there. Looks like we didn't quite have enough. So Wayne's just getting out every last little bit before making up some more to pour into the rest of this part of the pot, of the lid of the pot mould. So I'm just keeping fingers crossed at the moment that this is going to work out okay. Now we have seen some people where they pop the slices in with the resin, mix it up, make sure that they're coated, and then put it all into a mould, whatever mould they're using. You can do that, of course, by all means, but Wayne decided to do it this way. So there you go. See, he's mixed up some more. Look at the lovely little pops of colour in that, as well as the bubbles that you can see. But yeah, so it's just topping up the mould. Now what we did find is that the slices started to come to the surface. So in future, things to note for us would be, let's coat these slices in resin first, and you just do that just by dipping them into your pot of made up resin, and then put them in the mould, then fill it up with the rest of the resin. So that's filled up to the surface of that mould, so he's quite happy with that. Now onto the pot. Now it's just seeing which of these slices, these orange slices, fit. Now what we did find is they did actually push the sides of the mould out slightly, and as you can see, no matter what we tried, a couple of them are sort of, they're higher than the surface or the top level of that mould. Now, a couple of things you could do. I suppose you could trim it up a little bit. You could see if it bends slightly. Ours weren't very bendy. We didn't want to risk them breaking. So anyway, we just thought, well, let's see how this turns out. It'll either work or it won't, or there'll be things that we can learn for future projects. So just topping up the mould here with the resin. Just nice and slowly there, trying not to introduce too many bubbles, trying to make sure that it all goes to exactly where it should be. There we are. So just filling it up a little bit more. Absolutely love using T-Expert resin. It is, I think, at the moment it's our go-to. We have got another brand of resin to try that we bought because it was on offer, and we like a good offer. We got it through Amazon, and it's, I don't know how you pronounce it. You spell the name Ghgoule, I think, which almost sounds like Gagouli, but God knows, goodness knows if that's how you say that name. Anyway, so it's just using a little mini stir stick here to just make sure that the resin is all pushed down inside of the mould in front of the slices, behind the slices, where it needs to be. So of course what you could do is you could partially fill the mould, sort of half fill it, then put the slices in and then fill it up. It's totally up to you how you do it, but Wayne obviously decided this was the way he wanted to try. So there we go. So this is the tray mould. Now, sorry, you can see oh gosh, yeah, you can see some little sneaky peeks of other projects that we have on the go. Spoiler alert. So we'll ignore the moulds that you can see in the top left-hand corner of the screen. You know what it's like when you're working in a small craft area. You zoom in as much as you can with a camera, and yeah, sometimes it, you know, other things are in shot. So apologies for that. So he's worked out where he wants his orange slices to be. Now, again, what we've discovered from using this mould is that it's not quite deep enough. As in the base, from where the base of the mould is, the flat part of the base of the mould, to where the top of the tray bit would be, isn't quite deep enough to accommodate this size of thickness of the dried orange slices. But we thought we'd just press on, because there's, as we've decided to do, and you'll see a bit later on in the video, there is another way that you can fix this. It has caused a little bit of unevenness in the flatness of the surface of the tray when we demould it, but to be honest with you, that doesn't bother us. As we said before, we don't mass produce things. Everything is handmade with love. So, you know, it's going to be unique. It's going to have slight imperfections, but, you know, it is what it is. If you want absolute 100% perfection and you're not bothered if it's mass produced, then obviously there are lots of places and retail outlets where you can buy that sort of thing from. But as is always, usually only ever one-off creations made with love. So handmade with love. So there we are. He's filled up that mould as high as that needs to be, and then this is 24 hours later doing the demould. So as you can see there, the slices are just slightly proud of the top of the mould. Now you could fill those in with maybe some UV resin, or try and pour another thin layer of clear resin in on top of it, totally up to you. Or you could put a cork bottom on it, or a felt bottom. Felt bottom? Well, that's a bit wrong, that is. Or, you know, a piece of fabric on the bottom of it. Totally up to you. There we go. So just removing it from the mould. Look at that. The effect's really good. I like that. I like the slight tinge of orange colour that the glitter has given to the resin as well. So there we are. Yeah, as you can see, it's just slightly proud. They are covered in resin still. You could leave it like it, as I said, or you could fill in. You can see there's a bit of a millimetre or so depth that you could fill in gap with clear resin. It's totally up to you. Now, this is the lid. Now, this is what didn't work in the project before that I did with the EcoPore, which didn't end up being in the finished article. So here we go. Getting it out very carefully, and there we are. There is the handle for the lid and the orange slices. I think that's brilliant. I think it looks exceptional. The lid fits really well to the base. There are no air bubbles anywhere, which is great. It came out of the mould nice and clean. Now, here we go. We're going to demould the tray. Now, you can feel that it's slightly raised. Yeah, this mould is really good. It is from Temu, as I've said before. Don't forget your code for if you're a new user. You can get up to £100 free coupon bundle, and also up to 30% off at checkout. So there's the two items together. I think they look lovely as a matching set. Now, this, as you can see, is a piece of, it's a self-adhesive cork. It's an off-cut piece in the shape of a placemat. And as you can see, we can't use it for the placemat because it's split. So rather than throw it away, we don't like waste here. Wayne has just removed the paper backing so it's sticky, placed the tray down, pressed it down firmly, and then cut it out with a craft knife. Now around the edge, it's still a little bit rough in places. So he's actually used some wet and dry sandpaper, but I mean any fine grade sandpaper, and then just lightly, that's it, just lightly move it along the edge to try and create more of a smooth edge surface to it. It just makes it a bit neater. There you go. Of course, you don't have to do this. We were just trying to disguise the unevenness of the bottom of the tray. Plus, I mean, by doing that, you're protecting any surface that you put it down on. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing, and watching this video. The final shot here, I think, looks beautiful. It just displays how you can use it to put, you know, mugs, cups on and so on. We've got another video coming out Friday and another one on Sunday, which will be Easter Sunday. Have a fantastic week and weekend. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.